Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Famula One. I'm your host, Jamie. I'm here with my sister, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
And how are we feeling? How are we doing?
We're good. I'm ready for racing. I
Yes.
miss it.
It feels like a gajillion years whenever we have a weekend without racing.
It
Like,
feels so much longer than just a week.
I know. Especially because not too much happened. So it wasn't even like there was news going on
Yeah.
to discuss or anything like that. It's also I'm feeling just slightly as a little bit of context for all of you, our besties. We're recording at a different time during the day than we normally
Yeah,
do,
it's throwing me off.
and I'm feeling a bit thrown off. Like it's still light out, which is not our usual setup, which is interesting. But yeah, just a weird overall. No racing. We're recording at a weird time.
Yeah.
Spring. What can you say? This is
What can you
April.
say?
But luckily, we have plenty of racing going on this weekend. So obviously, we have Formula One back in China, which is I'm really excited to see how this race weekend goes. It seems pretty rainy there now, which
Mm.
if it rains during the race, we know that always makes things interesting. So, but just excited to see a new track. Not obviously brand new, but new for Jack and I, as in we were not watching Formula One the last time they raced there. So it'll be our first
Yeah.
time seeing it, not in Drive to Survive or in watching old races.
I
So,
was seeing things on social media about the last time they were there. The last time they were there, Lewis was only a 5-time world champion. I think I think it was George, Lando, and Alex. It might have been their third race.
oh my God,
Like
that's
completely.
crazy.
It's so crazy how long it's been since
And
we've been
how much
there.
has changed.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, because it was, what was it, 2019 was the last
Yeah.
time? Yeah, so it was George, Alex, Lando's rookie year. It was Charles' first year in Ferrari. Daniel was with Renault, his first year out of Red Bull.
Yeah. A lot has changed.
A lot has changed. And then over in the US, we have IndyCar finally back. They have this horrible, extremely long break between race one and race two, and I don't know why they do it this way.
Yeah.
Um, but they are finally back there at Long Beach this weekend, which is a really fun track. So that should be very exciting.
Also, shout out to Arrow McLaren, Crystal. They did a Jeopardy with the boys at Arrow McLaren, and it was hilarious having Pato and Alexander literally fight over the correct way to answer a Jeopardy question and points.
They are, I
So,
mean, the Arrow McLaren social team, and we've said this several times
so many
before,
times.
they
Yeah.
are some of the best social team social
In the
group.
business, for
Yeah,
sure.
even if you don't follow IndyCar, I recommend you watch the stuff that the things they can get those drivers to do. It's hilarious.
It's
So,
so good.
and yes, shout out to Crystal and shout out to the whole team, but definitely Crystal, love you.
Love you.
Um, in other news, really, again, quiet week. So, really, the only stuff that's come out, Fernando Alonso has extended his contract with Aston Martin, which is exciting. I'm just excited that we're going to have the drama king himself around for a couple more years.
Yeah.
At least. I don't want him to ever retire because, again, as we know, rule of this podcast, Fernando Alonso is always at the scene of the crime. So we need
Always
him
at the
around.
scene of the crime.
We need
No,
him
but
around.
Jamie, remember we are getting a TV show out of him. We're getting a book TV show deal out of him. So he will
Yeah,
have to retire at some point.
the tell all will be unreal.
Yeah.
I'm
The
waiting for
tell is gonna
his
be
tell
hilarious.
all, and I'm waiting for Lewis's tell all because I
Mm,
want to hear what went down. One, behind the scenes with Mercedes, but also what has been going on at Mercedes and how that feels because
yeah.
there's definitely this clear shift that happened in Mercedes. Really, one, the performance started going down, but really, I think it started when Niki Lauda died,
Mm,
and what was really going on behind the scenes, because he said a few things where he's like, I was trying to give feedback and they basically were like not listening. So that would be an interesting book, that's for sure.
yeah.
In other news, not really racing related, but Charles Leclerc has released an ice cream line.
It's protein ice cream, isn't it?
Yeah, like a halo top type ice cream. It's like healthy. So
Hopefully
I
they've
think,
gotten that texture better than
yeah,
Halo Top because
I actually have not seen reviews yet. I don't believe it's available in the US quite yet, so we cannot give it a try for you. It should be available in the US though. I can't imagine why they wouldn't.
yeah.
But I think, yeah, I think like all of the whole pint is like 400 calories or something. So very much that like health ice cream thing, which always makes me a little nervous, but I do trust Charles Leclerc. So
Yeah, the retail stores that they're listing out are all French. So,
yeah, I think it's in Europe. It's got to be in Italy too. It would sell very
yeah.
well in Italy. Um, so yeah, we'll have to see if
That's
you
so
have access
interesting.
and you want to give us a little review. That would be lovely. Would love to hear.
Yeah. I want to know how it is.
Send us a review video if you're okay with it. We'll post it on our feed so that everybody that doesn't have access to it like us gets to live vicariously.
Yeah. We want a full on review. There
Yes.
is no cheaping out. We want to see you open it for the
Yes.
first time.
Give like a, smell test. Does ice cream really have a smell?
It
I
does
don't
definitely
know.
has a smell.
Yeah. Full review, texture, flavor. Are there mix-ins?
The flavors sound pretty good.
Yeah, they have like a pistachio, chocolate. There's like a caramel one.
Yeah. I
So
want to try it, but
I
I'll
would
ask.
have to assume that eventually it'll be available in the US.
It's got to be its first launch.
Yeah,
It's not going to be everywhere,
it is kind of
but
sad though. Jack did have a great idea of us to do a taste test, but then I had to crush that dream and say, I don't think we can get it. So,
I bet we'll be able to get on like eBay or something for a ridiculous price. And sorry, kids, not spending that.
sorry, we're gonna just hold, or worst comes to worst, we'll just buy Halo Top and pretend.
We'll pretend.
And then the last thing before we get into this episode that I just want to touch on is some exciting stuff happening in my neck of the woods this weekend as well. A little Red Bull show run with, I believe it's the RB7, and Mr. David Coulthard will be going down Pennsylvania Avenue, which is where the White House is. I don't believe the actual show run is in front of the White House, but on Pennsylvania Avenue. And, just keep an eye on our socials.
It's so exciting.
Wink, wink. So we have a
Yeah.
lot of fun stuff this weekend. Lots of racing. We got, the Red Bull show run. It's free to attend if you're in the DC area. So maybe I'll see you there. But if not, just keep an eye on our socials. I'll have a little something for
Yeah.
you. But shall we now? Really, this is, I think, the quickest we've ever gotten through news.
Shockingly, especially compared to last week.
Yeah, we were yapping away last week.
We were yappers.
But shall we get into today's topic?
Yeah.
So we have done versions of this before. It's I think my favorite type of episode we do, because we can just be opinionated. But a little bit of a twist this time, rather than being president of the FIA, we are now stewards. And Jack and I have created several new rules that we would implement as the stewards. Yeah, it should be fun. Do you want to kick it off, Jack?
No, I don't. Can you go first?
Okay. I will start. I'm going to start with the one that is the hill we will probably, one of the hills we'll die on. I'm just going to get this one out of the way really fast. First thing I'm doing as a steward, reverse grid sprints.
That was my first one.
Yeah, absolutely. This is if welcome to the Formula One podcast. If there are two things that you need to know is that we love Andretti and we want reverse grid sprints.
If there is no one talking about reverse grid sprints, we're dead.
We're dead. Yeah.
We have died.
Died dead.
Send your condolences to our parents because
Yeah.
we're gone. Yeah, I literally put it in as my first one and then said, or honestly, just any other format than what they have right now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the current format just because I feel like
It
it's
doesn't
just
matter.
it's just like the first 15 laps of what the race is gonna end up being. Like
Yeah.
the shootout format, I don't love. I think they could do more exciting things with sprint quali rather than just a mini version of quali. Um,
Yeah. So for those who don't know, has changed. What was 2 years ago? It changed
yeah,
a
I
year
think
ago.
2022 they had the old format.
So the old format was that they did quali, and then
Full
that
normal
quali,
quali.
normal quali, and that was the setup for the sprint. And then how you finished in the sprint was where you're going to start on Sunday for the actual race. And now they've set it up that they're doing sprint quali and they're also doing regular quali. So
Yeah, so
sprint just doesn't matter.
it's essentially a separate mini race rather
Yeah.
than and there's still points associated and things like that, but with the way they have it set up, because it really is just a second mini race, there's not really much opportunity for surprises happening.
Yeah.
And which is why, I mean, again, like you said, Jack, we'll take anything in terms of
Go back
shaking
to
it
the
up.
way it was. I really thought, I don't know why. Again, me being hopeful. Take a shot every time you hear me being
Delusional
hopeful about
positivity.
something. um, I really thought that they would go back because the drivers were outspoken, the team
Yeah.
principals were so outspoken about how this just no one
And
cares
they
about
only get
sprint.
one free practice now
Yeah.
on sprint
Especially if you're
weekends.
bringing upgrades, it's
Yeah.
really tough.
Or a weekend like this where, again, a lot of these, I mean, people have not driven here in years. Some people have never driven
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Um, and we have yeah, this is a sprint weekend this weekend. So, but yeah, reverse grids would be epic.
Sick,
I want
dude. They'd be
reverse grid
so sick.
sprints. Oh, it'd be so fun. It'd be so
Yeah.
fun. I don't know why we don't do it.
I don't know either. Um, so rule, my first rule is that the US can't have any more races.
I am down with that. Could we keep the number at 3 but move locations?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea.
Why do you need more than 3? I understand we're
No, we
huge,
don't.
but Australia is also huge and they only have 1.
I wanna go
And they're
back
way
to
more fun.
I wanna go back to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And I
Or
know it's
'cause
cursed, but
wasn't um F1 used to race in Long Beach, right? Which is where IndyCar is this weekend. Didn't they used to race? They use that track?
I'm sure at some point they did because 'cause they've also haven't they used did they use Watkins Glen at some point, F1?
Did
Or
they?
am I misremembering?
I don't know. I've never heard that before.
I know IndyCar is not currently racing at Watkins Glen, but they used to, but I feel like F1 used to.
I also just
I mean,
think
there's
there's so many other places in the world that we could be having races and just showing different cultures, and uh,
we need a race
there are
in
just
Africa.
really cool ones. A
We
race in
need a race in Africa.
Africa. I mean, Brazil is so fun. Having another one in South America, I think, could be really
Mhm.
cool. Um,
Argentinian race fans
that's
are
what I thought. Yeah, that was
so,
my
like,
immediate thought.
so dedicated. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that Lewis
Because
has
we
been a
see that
big.
and it yeah, we're with Argentina, like, we see the fans Augustine Canapino, who's an IndyCar driver, had, like, a huge career in Argentina before, and, like, you see when he goes home, there's, like, 80,000 to, like, 100,000 people just, like, pressed up against, like, screaming. Like, they would love an F1 race down there.
Yeah, I think that could be so sick. So
Yeah.
sick. As I was saying, Lewis Hamilton's been very outspoken about having one in South Africa.
Mhm.
So that would be really cool too. I mean, there's just really cool places that we're not at, and I would much rather watch that race than Chicago or
We just
New
and
York,
the last if they are going to add more US races, the last thing we need is another
a
street
street
race.
race.
Like, put it at a real track, please.
Yeah,
Because I do
yeah,
love a street race, but the US street races that they design tend to not be that good.
yeah.
So, like, put it at a racetrack or put it somewhere else. Let's get other
Put it
stuff
somewhere
going
else.
on.
Move
Uh,
things around.
I am so there for that idea. My next one is and I don't know how I'd enforce this as a steward, but cool down room for everybody because I want to hear
Ooh.
post race.
Or it could be, like, kinda separate, like, the top 3 do
Yeah,
have, like, a
what
separate one,
when I was writing it out, I was like, we could do a winners room for the podium, like leave
and
the
then the
3 and 7
losers.
in there, and then the losers, it's everybody else.
Be like, "No,
And I
come on,
think
lo."
yeah, get to the loser room. Get over there.
The loser
Yeah.
room would probably be way more interesting to watch.
Well, and what made me think of this was the infamous Max pushing Esteban
Yeah, yeah,
situation, and I just feel like we'd get more of that if we had.
yeah. Or remember, like, when Michael Schumacher I can't remember who he was going after, but remember he, like,
Oh my
ran
god,
down
he
the
was
pit
that
lane.
was scary.
That was
Yeah, I forget
scary.
who was going after. He was so mad though.
He was so mad. I'll have to
Yeah.
dive deeper into that. Yeah, for
Drivers
sure.
don't fly off the handle like they used to.
No.
Too media
Um,
trained.
I know, it's annoying. So kind of similar, you proposed a rule for, like, if it's a driver's birthday, they get to have another car.
Yeah, spare car. Yeah.
So I also said that if it was a driver's birthday, they get to make everyone else dress how they want for the driver parade. So take that as you will. It could be like chicken
Senior day?
costumes, or it
Like
could be
senior day in
like,
high school? Do you remember that? Is that what you're thinking?
no? Wait,
Remember
what
senior
day?
day where it's like if
Oh
you came up
yeah.
short and then the seniors at our school, this is how it worked. The seniors, they pick a day. Was it like senior appreciation day or something?
No, it was like our last home game.
Last home game. So then that day, normally for days that you had a game, you'd wear like your uniform or something else, like all match. But for
Yeah.
senior day, seniors would dress up and like nice clothes, like a cute dress or something, and then they'd pick the outfits for everybody else on the team that they had to wear to school. So like chicken
Yeah.
costumes, hot dog costumes.
I was dressed as an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yep.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that's I'm pretty sure we spray painted our hair too, like that, or like did the hairspray version of
I
it.
never got anything that crazy because I also didn't. I did cross country like 1 year, but I think all I had to do was wear a onesie, which was pretty comfortable to be
But could
honest.
you imagine though, in my mind, like, yeah, some people would take the piss out of it. Like, I think Daniel Ricciardo would make everyone wear something absolutely ridiculous. But I think Lewis Hamilton would then take it upon himself to be everyone's stylist. And I
Oh,
would be so pumped to see
that would
what
be
he
good.
would put people in.
Yeah, and
Um,
Joe would be good too.
yeah. Like,
I think
I
Joe
think
would
it'd be funny.
honestly probably care a little bit more than Lewis.
Yeah. Like Lewis would probably be like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah,
But or Daniel Ricciardo is gonna make everyone just wear his merch, which is also a great idea.
yeah. A bit of a cop out, but I would support it.
Bit of a cop
He's been
out.
wearing one hoodie recently that's really cute. It's like 60s, 70s, like retro.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if that might be
I bet Lando
the
would
next.
actually do that. Lando would make everyone probably wear quadrant merch.
Yeah. Good marketing tool.
Good marketing tool, but also be somewhat creative.
Yeah, let's have a little bit of fun with this.
I just would be excited to see what people did with it, and I would hope that they would. If I can also be in my delusional state, they put a lot of effort in
Yeah.
when they're choosing.
Yeah. In an ideal world.
In an
I
ideal world.
Actuality, it would end up somewhat similar to Secret Santa, which I sometimes can't watch the Secret Santa when it comes out because it makes me so uncomfortable to see the drivers who like it makes me feel so bad. Some of them
Yeah.
put so much thought and so much effort into it, and then you can tell so clearly which ones just forget.
Forget or don't care or
Like
like,
when Charles Leclerc just gave Joe Valtteri's calendar.
yeah.
Ugh, so I
It
think
was
that would
so
be
uncomfortable.
yeah. But it's fun to imagine if they all took it seriously how things
Yeah, exactly.
for my next one, I'll do my least fun one, but
Okay.
this I do think would help our current situation, the current state of F1. I think you should get a 5-second drive-through penalty if you're leading by more than 10 seconds. Like,
Like
I think you
drive
should have to I
where
think
do
you
you
should have to
drive?
go
Go
what
through
are
the
you
pit
talking
lane?
about? Yeah.
You say
Like,
drive through.
yeah. So that's the penalty where you go to the pit lane and they can't touch the car for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what a
Oh, god, I don't know why. I literally oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I don't know why I was like, "Where are they going? Drive through where? Which drive through?"
Yeah, I think you should get a 5-second penalty for leading by too much.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just I'm just, like, over it. I'm so over it. And even honestly, like, I wanna fight up at the front. Unless Carlos is at the front, then nobody touch him.
A part of me really did wanna make, like, a rule that's like, whatever my favorite driver is this season, no one can touch him.
Yeah.
He does not
10
DNF.
10 penalty points on your license if you if
You
you
come near
collide.
asking history. Yeah, no, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
This is one that I was talking to you about before we started filming, was I think we've talked about this. So IndyCar, you get points, everyone gets points,
Mhm.
correct? I
Yes.
want there to be
Most people
points
do.
throughout.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
we
think
need
help close gaps and make it a little more interesting.
and I mean, this bottom half of the grid, it's not like they're not racing hard.
Yeah.
Like, there should be I would even be down for maybe, like, points up to 15th.
Yeah,
That
I
could
could be down
work
for that. If we have
as
to
a compromise.
compromise,
Yeah.
I'd be down. Yeah, I just don't think like I just like we were talking about championship points last week.
Yeah.
The gaps are pretty big already.
Well, yeah, and then, like, the bottom 3 teams have no points at all, and then
Yeah.
Red Bull has, like, almost 200, and it's just I think it would make things more interesting, especially in the constructors
Mm.
and in the drivers' championship, but the constructors is really, like, the money and stuff, so that's really m more pressure, if there was more points to go around, because now it's like, yeah, 1 point can make a lot of difference. But how much more exciting would it be if there's just more points at play? And then that would make shifts happen, I think, a lot more frequently.
Yeah. I would just be really interested to see how things change and evolve. Obviously, Max would still be winning, but
But it could make
would
things more
yeah,
interesting.
I think it could make a lot of things more interesting.
Mhm. I completely agree. I have another one that I'll go with now, which is also stealing something from IndyCar. um, I think we should get rid of DRS zones and replace it with push to pass esque 120 seconds of DRS. So we can
Mm,
keep DRS, we can keep that system, but rather than just having the DRS zones around the track, which then results in like DRS trains and stuff. And then it's just like not as
yeah.
fun and not as strategic because you just, if you're within 1 second and you're in the DRS zone, you can open your DRS.
Yeah.
Um, I think if you have 120 seconds of ability to be able to use it, then that makes things much more strategic. Because in
Yeah.
IndyCar, it's a similar system, but it's called push to pass, which is I think it's like 60 additional horsepower or something into the engine. I don't know how that we've never claimed to be a science podcast. I don't know how any of the
Fair
engineering
enough.
parts work. Um, but you have this certain amount of time. And so it's really interesting to see throughout the race, like they'll do check-ins of like who has what amount left of push to pass because sometimes you'll use it to overtake or sometimes you'll use it to stay in front and it's just a very interesting strategic element that gets added to the race and I think we should replicate it because it's more
Yeah.
fun than just DRS detection zones.
Yeah. I like that.
I think it
I
would
like
make
that.
racing more interesting.
Oh, it's my turn.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that all drivers must participate in a game that we're going to host, and we're going to call it Famula Feud. It'll be like Family Feud, but all the drivers have to participate because I want this to happen.
Is this replacing Grill the Grid or is this an additional piece of content?
It would be a additional piece of content.
I love it.
I could be on the F1 YouTube, I will gift that to you, F1.
You're
You can
welcome.
have it. You're welcome.
That would be fun.
Not
I'm
the
surprised.
idea. That Famula Feud is trademarked, so
TM. Verbal trademark.
verbal trademark.
Yeah, you
But I
can
think it
have
could be
it, but
fun.
you can have the content as long as we are the ones that get to do it, so that we
Yeah,
can
we'll
ask the
host.
questions that we want to ask.
Yeah.
Like, I think we should do like we could do some crazy categories. I want to see how much these boys know about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Or like just maybe movies. I want to see who really geeks out on like movies and books, or like if there's like a real big like Lord of the Rings nerd or something.
Yeah, because
I'd be
like I know
interested.
Esteban's really into superheroes.
Yeah.
Find like special interests. That would be fun. I'm in. I love it. Um, my next idea is similar to your more points for points down the grid. I think we should implement positivity points, meaning you get a point if you do something good. Like if you have a good overtake, you get a point. Or, if you defend really well, you get a point.
You get a point.
Just because
I
I
like
think
that.
in the same vein of your idea where it's like I think we just need more points to go around to make things a little bit more interesting, especially in the current state of F1 where I mean, just give him the trophy now. He's already won the championship. Let's make things a little bit more interesting with like look at like the way Yuki drove last week, and I know he got a point, but
Yeah.
he
Did he get
dominated.
driver of the day?
I keep forgetting to check because that I was thinking about that the other day too.
Driver of
It's
the day should get a point.
Yeah, driver of the day should get a point. Let me Google it. Can I just Google? I don't think I've ever Googled who got driver of the day.
I'll Google it. Got some keyboard ASMR for you guys.
Tap, tap, tap.
Oh, Charles.
What?
Why?
What?
That's an abs. Okay, Charles got 23.8%. Yuki got 17.7. Carlos got
Am I
14.6.
forgetting? Did Charles do something cool? Like, am I forgetting? What the heck?
It says this is from the F1 website. It says differing strategies may have put him behind his teammate, but Charles Leclerc drove an impeccable race for Ferrari at Suzuka, coming from 8th on the grid to finish 4th at the flag, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good race.
Even briefly leading the Grand Prix, you duly recognize the driver's superb performance. Here's
He
how the
had a good
voting
race, but I don't think it was driver of the day worthy.
Give
I
it to
mean,
Yuki.
we all know who I voted for, but yeah, I think Yuki would have gotten it.
I couldn't vote because I watched it late. And this is what
Are you
happens.
watching? Are you watching live this week?
No.
Probably not too, but I fear that every time I don't watch live, something good happens. So like now I'm like,
I don't know. I watched Japan late and it was fine.
yeah, I just need to stay off Twitter.
Stay off Twitter.
Sound off in the comments if you're watching live and you're watching us on
Yeah.
YouTube right now.
You guys are crazy. I mean, dedicated, love you.
Yeah.
Well, it's different. East Coast, it's 3 in the morning.
Yeah, which that's the other crazy part because it's like it's not really like so the race ends at like 5:30. So it's not really like you go to bed after that. Like you're just
You
up.
gotta get up and start your day at that point. Go get some breakfast at like a
Yeah.
24/7 diner.
Yeah. I fear I may have to tune in post race. Which is fine. It's just not as fun. But I guess we
Yeah.
can watch Long Beach live.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah. And then the next race after this one is Miami, no?
Is it Miami? I've just been trying to power through these past couple races because it's so Yeah, it's Miami.
So that'll be a normal time for the East Coast friends.
And then it's Italy. And then we're off.
Monza? Is it Monza next? Or Imola?
Imola.
We missed Imola last year. So that's exciting.
And then it's Monaco. Then it's Canada. Got so many more races coming, guys.
Oh
So
my
many
gosh,
more.
yeah. Crazy. And did you see they already announced the 2025 calendar?
They did. We
We
didn't
didn't
talk
even talk
about it.
about that.
It's starting in Australia. Love that.
I'm glad that they brought Australia back to the first race of the season.
Australia's
Other than
fun.
that, no like surprises really, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically all the same tracks.
Another 24, round of 24.
Hmm. Which is a lot.
It's a lot of races. Which, I mean, love it. Great for us.
Yeah. I
That's
just think there's like a happy medium that can be found between the 24 races that F1 does, and they're flying all over the world, and then like IndyCar, who are like, we're starting the season, just kidding.
Start- Yeah, doing the one and then the giant break. I mean, I know they had that thermal challenge or whatever,
Yeah.
but
But
that
even then,
doesn't count for any points.
no, that was non-points. That was just a cash prize.
Yeah.
So, but we're back. IndyCar's back this weekend, so that should be good. I think I've shared all of the rules that I'd like to implement.
Um, I have one more, and it's each team gets a celeb shot during quali, and they must take it kind of like, the rookie thing. They have to use
Mhm.
them in FP, like in free practice. Um, and I don't know, interpret that how you will. If you want an actual celebrity in there, if you want to bring
Seems
Nico
unsafe.
Rosberg, if you want to bring Sebastian Vettel, that's where I kind of went with it of
Yeah, like retired
bring back
drivers.
those,
So
yeah, retired drivers.
I have a question. In this case,
What?
can they snipe other drivers
What
currently
do
on
you
the grid?
mean?
Like,
Oh,
could Williams be like, we want Max?
no, it would have to be someone off the grid.
Someone off the grid.
But
Okay.
if they're like, say, in, I don't know, they retired, they're like, they could take an IndyCar driver.
So not doesn't just have to be Formula One drivers. Any
They just have to be not on the F1 grid this year.
that could be fun. That could
I'd
be
love
some
to see
fun
like Sebastian
faces.
Vettel in there.
Seb back. We got to get Nico. And I
And
wonder if
you
they'd even
lock
do like, yeah,
you have to lock in your answer because people might steal them. So it's
yeah,
gonna be like we all pick a number out of a hat, so it's all equal. It's
it's
all
like a
it's all
draft.
yeah, and it's like a draft.
Yeah, we could get some fun. Yeah, like what if they brought Mika Hakkinen back? That could be cool.
Mark Webber.
Mark Webber. Mark
Mark
Webber could
Webber.
come back.
You could
Yeah.
vomit in another car. I mean, why not? Susie Wolf gets in
Jensen.
there.
Get Susie in there. We could get Jensen. Kimmy.
Gimme. Yeah.
That could be fun. I love that idea. I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the actual celebrity thing would be that fun because
That would
one,
just be
I think that'd be
dangerous.
dangerous. And I also think they would just kind of what we talked about last is they won't be good at it.
Yeah. Like we want some real
Yeah.
racing.
We want
So we
some
need the
real
pros.
shakeup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I'm in. All of these are great ideas. They should hire us.
We're geniuses.
We're so smart. We're
We're
so
so
smart.
smart.
Well, this
God.
was super fun. Let us know what rule ideas you have.
Yeah. You want to
Um
do your podium
yes.
just for Sunday, right? Or should we do a sprint podium
Should we
too?
do sprint podium and regular? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Sprint first. Do sprint first.
Sprint first. Sprint first. I'm gonna go. The hard thing is too, I'm not familiar with this track, so
I'm not either.
I can't make
Like,
incredibly incorrect assumptions about who's gonna do.
yeah, I can't be like, oh, well, the straight's here. I'm like, I can't. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with my sprint, and then I'll be realistic for my real race. So for sprint, I'm gonna go Lando,
Mm,
Carlos, Checo.
Nice. For my sprint, I will go Fernando,
Ooh.
Oscar, Lewis. Just because
Ooh.
I that's who I want to be up there.
Either of these podiums I'd be very happy with.
Very happy with.
That would mean it was a very fun sprint to watch.
Yeah.
For the race, Max, and then I'm gonna go Oscar and Carlos. Carlos, so it keeps his streak.
I would like to see Oscar back on the podium. He hasn't been there this season. I mean,
Mhm.
we've only had one Lando podium.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want McLaren up on that podium. Since you did somewhat sensible, I will also do somewhat sensible.
Yes, teetering. Sensible, maybe, but
Max. I really do just think Fernando's going to be on a high. I think Max.
that new contract glow.
Yeah, that new contract glow. Mm, Max, George, Fernando.
George.
I think he's gonna sneak. He's sneaky
Gonna sneak
little snake.
attack. Sneaky little
Yeah,
snake.
sneaky little snake.
I'm in. I think nobody wants Mercedes back on the podium more than Mercedes, but I would love to see it as well.
Yeah, Mercedes is pushing for themselves.
Okay.
As you should be. You should be thinking you're.
Yeah.
Where I was watching old Vanderpump Rules the other day, and
Oh,
Stassi
wow.
was like, "If you don't think that you are the Beyonce of your group, you need to go to therapy or something like that."
I love old stuff. Oh, old saucy. It's just like true cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
Highly recommend if you're in between races this weekend and you want to watch something good. Seasons
Yeah,
like
when
1
you're
through 6 of Vanderpump Rules are just true cinema.
yeah, through 8, because then Bo
Oh, yes, because
gets
then we get
Stassi and
Bo, yeah.
Bo.
But she gets a
Yeah,
little less, like, chaotic when Bo comes
crazy.
into the picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, also happy Tortured Poets Department release week. This is a big weekend, everybody. We have new
D
Taylor music, we have racing.
Doesn't Sabrina Carpenter's new album come out this weekend too?
I thought she just had a single coming out.
Oh, she just had a single? I mean, the single
Yeah,
is a
the
bop.
single's
I l
single's great.
so good.
So good. Yeah. Oh, do you wanna throw in a IndyCar prediction?
Oh, golly. Yeah, I do.
IndyCar's far harder to predict.
It is far harder.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe they're turning an F1 corner because Joseph Newgarden, didn't he lead the
Yeah,
whole race in St.
Penske has
Petersburg?
been on top.
No, I'm going oh god. I'm just gonna start saying names. I'm going, do I do a Paddle 1? Do I? I'm doing it.
Pato
Paddle
hasn't had a
1.
Pato hasn't
He
had a
hasn't
win
had
in
a
a
win
while.
in a while. So I'm gonna go Paddle 1, Felix Rosenquist 2, besties on the podium.
Bro, all right.
And then I'll go Willpower.
Gotta get a Penske. There has to be a Penske on the podium for it to
Has
be
to
at
be a
least
Pesky on the
somewhat
podium.
realistic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Scotty Mac P1, Scott McLaughlin.
Mm,
And then Alex Below, and then I'm gonna go get some orange on there. I'm gonna go Alexander Rossi. P2.
nice. Nice.
So we will see. Lots of fun racing. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok at Formula One so you can keep up on my super secret fun project that I'm doing this weekend. It's not a secret or it's not really, I'm not
It is super fun.
it's super fun. Yeah, you'll just keep an eye. And if you have not yet, we'd love it if you could give us a review wherever you're listening, or if you're watching us on YouTube, if you could give this video a thumbs up, that'd be great. I finally remembered the plug. But beyond that, I hope you have a lovely
Yeah.
weekend. I hope you enjoy Taylor's new album. I hope you enjoy all the racing. We will be talking to you next week to debrief all of it, including the album. Honestly, probably we'll probably yap about that for a good at least 10
Yeah.
minutes. So
Be ready for another long episode next week.
yes, we will have lots to cover next week. So love you so much. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.